Alright, everybody, so this is going to be a live demonstration of how to use the tools that we used in the classroom this week. This is for those of you who are having trouble and still don't know how to use the tools that we used in Photopea. So I'm using this photo of myself from New York City from last year, I think, and I'm going to start selecting, tracing, and cutting things out the way I showed you guys this week. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in to the area I'm going to cut out, which is going to be the outline of this Hope statue. There's multiple ways I can do this, but I'm going to start by showing you the way I asked you guys to do your photos in the example that we practice on. And what we used was the polygonal lasso. So you have to right click the lasso tool, and it's the second option. Remember, if you're on a Chromebook, you would click with 2 fingers to get the right click dialog to show up. So we get that, and then we're going to click once, and that gives us this line, correct? So once we have this line, we have to go to the next spot where the line's going to go. So I've got the edge of the E here. I'm going to click like so. Going to click here, and this is where I'm going to zoom in even more because I'm now tracing something that is round. So I want to make sure that I'm following the edge here as nicely as I can. There are other tools I could use for this, and I'm going to go over them shortly. But since I showed you how to use this specific tool in class and so many people were having problems with it, that's where I'm going to go first. You can see I'm just getting a general outline here. And going. Not going to speed up this video at all because this video is meant to be from beginning to end a tutorial for you that you can watch when you need the help. Skip through it if you need, not skip through it if you don't. So it looks like here I can take the straight line all the way to the edge, and I'm moving the window by simply moving my mouse to the edge of the panel. You can do that in the Chromebook too. You don't always have to be scrolling every time you're trying to move the panel. You're going to see, however, when I'm done with this outline, as you can see right now, I'm trying to outline these rounded areas, and I'm getting these really weird angles and corners that are showing up because of the fact that I am outlining something with a straight tool that's round. So again, when I'm done with this lasso tool, I've showed you how to use it, I will demonstrate the other way I could have highlighted this piece of background. I'm actually going to move that over just a little bit and then go down. Same thing here. Got a little bit of roundness happening in here, so I'm going to just follow that. And this is ever so slightly more complex than the shapes that I had you guys outlining. This does not mean that I want you to grab something that is round for your outline. I am simply demonstrating it because I took this photo, and since this is a YouTube video, I would hate for someone to come along. Did I do this wrong? I did do this wrong. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. Because I wasn't supposed to stop here, but since I was zoomed in, I didn't see what I was doing, and I was confused for a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep going because the way I'm going to cut this is going to work just fine for my character. Anyway, I'm going to bring this down like so. Go back over here. Because I'm just going to put my cartoon character behind the hope sign. And if I do this right, I can still make it work just fine. Just connect back to the beginning. So again, I am connecting back to where I started, which is right here. Boom. All right, so now I have this chunk over here, missing part of the H and the P. That's fine. I'm going to edit, copy, which is also Control C on your keyboard, and then edit, paste, which is Control V on the keyboard. It's going to ask me if I want to allow it to copy and paste. Yes, I will. And now I've got this cut out right. So what I need to do now is I need my character, correct? Which we all know who my favorite character is for this. It's the Shocked Patrick. You can right click on your character when you find them and click copy image. And then you can go back to Photopea. And again, that Control V is going to paste our character. You can see I had a PNG image, so that way I didn't have to cut out a background. I'm going to enable the transform controls because that is what you need to do to be able to resize it. And then once I click on this box, you see that I can kind of mess him up a little bit when I'm resizing him. If I hold shift, it will make it so that it keeps the ratio of the length and width. So I'm gonna make him a little bit bigger. I'm gonna pop him up here. I'm gonna turn him, move him over, and then remember our layer order. So the topmost layer is going to be in front of every layer underneath it. So we're going to take this layer where I cut out the Hope and we're going to move it above Patrick's layer, and that's going to give us Patrick behind the Hope. All right? That's the Lasso Tool. If you cannot remember it and you need to be able to review this video for this tool, just remember it's like playing Connect the Dots. So if I make a dot here, and then I make another dot here, another dot here, and another dot here, what's going to happen is the lasso will connect the dots for me. Got it? So let's show you the other way we could do this. So let's hide these two layers, and I'm going to grab a different tool this time. I'm going to go down here to the object selection. Now, object selection works in a couple different ways. The first way, this way, will make you put a box, and then whatever the cross in the middle is pointing at is going to be what it shows when it selects. So if I click this and I let it go, it did a pretty good job of highlighting the Hope for me. Then, if I go here and I click on Unite, because I want to unite this with the piece that it's missing, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to make a box here. And now you can see I kind of got some of the background. There's multiple ways for me to go through this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to click subtract, and I'm going to stick to one tool right now. So that way it is sticking to one thing that I have chosen. Okay, back to Unite. So you can see there's a lot of back and forth here where I have to constantly be selecting the objects that I want. Going back, getting rid of some stuff, getting rid of some stuff. And there's my outline. So again, if I can click Control Copy, and then I do Control Paste, now I have this. It's missing a little bit of the P, but that's because that's where my sleeve is, right? So it's going to get cut off no matter what. What I can do now is the same thing as before. There's Patrick, drag him over. And now, because my Hope is bigger, I can kind of move him around. And he can be on this side, being really creepy looking over my shoulder. So that's another way to do this. The third way that I'm going to show you that I know how to use specifically, not just the only other way, but the third way that I can do is quick selection. So if I use quick selection, it works similar to the object selection I was just using. if I click on the hope here, it's going to find the outline of the hope for me. And then I'm going to just keep holding my mouse down, and I'm just going to go up to here, and I'm going to get this last bit of the letter. And it was as simple as that. This works the best when the object you are highlighting has a really solid color and not a lot of differentiation in it. I would not use this tool, say, to try to outline all of these pieces of the building, because all of these different colors that happen in the windows are going to mess it up when you're highlighting. Same thing here, I can highlight my jacket, but I'm going to have to spread out a little bit to get all of the different parts of my jacket to show up. And you can see it's trying to select. Now it's selected the pole because the pole matches the color of my jacket. And then I have a bunch of extra stuff to do. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste. And once again, this is what I got from the Quick Select tool. If you have any problems following this, I would suggest just rewinding and looking at what I'm doing again. Because again, I only used 3 tools here. They were polygonal lasso, which I had to right click to get to. They were the object selection, which I just clicked on this tool with the original symbol in it. And then there's the quick selection that I had to right click on this tool for. I copied and pasted by using Control-C and Control-V, or if you can't figure those out, edit, copy, edit, paste. And then I'm going to finally bring Patrick back. I'm going to put this layer above him. And I want to save this picture, so I'm going to click File. I'm going to click Export As, and I just want it to be a JPEG because JPEGs are just kind of a standard photo file type. If I wanted to cut out parts of the background and do other things like that, I would do a PNG, but since I'm not, JPEG's good enough. And with that, I now have my picture. Let me go into OBS real quick and pop that up here to the top, and boom. Whoops, that didn't work. So my picture is here open on my desktop. Can't show it to you with the way my OBS is currently set up, but that's all I have for you right now. If you have any questions, put them in our classroom. I'll see you in class.